Well guys, it appears as though Dominik Mysterio has put himself in a very precarious situation with Rhea Ripley due to the going-ons the past several weeks on Monday Night Raw, which has seen Dominik Mysterio involved with Liv Morgan, and while Dominik has tried making it clear to the Judgment Day, as well as Liv Morgan that he's uninterested in getting involved with the Women's World Champion, the sneaky behind-the-scenes interactions between Dominik and Liv weeks ago prove otherwise, and Rhea Ripley is reportedly heartbroken that Dominik's heading down this path with Liv Morgan, the one who is responsible for putting Rhea on the shelf and forcing her to vacate the Women's World title. Liv Morgan continues her quest to take everything from Rhea Ripley, including of course Dominik Mysterio each and every day, with Liv recently turning up the heat on social media with a series of photos posted of herself wearing Dominik's t-shirt, a post that got an insane amount of attention from the wrestling world, and according to one of our sources, regardless of whether or not Dominik and Liv Morgan are secretly working together behind the scenes, it won't be long until Dominik folds on television and gets involved with Liv Morgan, officially putting the nail in the coffin, so to speak, when it comes to Dominik's relationship with the injured Rhea Ripley, or Mommy. Now, the injured Rhea Ripley has been radio silent over the past couple of weeks regarding Dominik Mysterio's budding romance with Liv Morgan, but one of our insider sources recently informed us that Rhea will be getting very vocal on social media in the coming weeks and reacting to this shocking storyline when Dominik Mysterio and Liv Morgan officially become a thing in WWE, which will be very soon, and Rhea's apparently going to soon be sending a message to Dominik on Twitter that they're through, which will cause a lot of tension in the Judgment Day, with our source reporting the following details regarding WWE's plans for this storyline moving forward. Quote, "So what we've heard is that Liv Morgan's pursuit of Dominik Mysterio is going to be a successful one, and Liv's revenge tour will apparently end in her taking Dominik Mysterio away from Rhea Ripley, which is obviously Liv's plan here. Dominik Mysterio has nearly folded on a few occasions over the past week, and we've been told it won't be long until Liv Morgan has convinced Dominik Mysterio to leave Rhea Ripley for her, and once Liv Morgan and Dominik become an official on-screen couple, Liv's next move would be to get Dominik to leave the Judgment Day faction. Rhea Ripley's currently on the shelf with her shoulder injury, and she won't be back on television for a couple of months. But the sentiment behind the scenes is that Rhea Ripley will finally react to Dominik's relationship with Liv Morgan in the coming weeks when it becomes an official thing, with Rhea cutting ties with Dominik. Now is there a chance that Rhea Ripley and Dominik would be working together in some secret way, and that Dominik would be playing Liv Morgan all along up until Rhea Ripley returns and seeks her revenge and her Women's World title? Definitely a possibility from what we've been told, but for the immediate future, we're heading towards Rhea Ripley and Dominik Mysterio breaking up, and Liv and Dom becoming an official on-screen couple in WWE. Triple H and other high-ranking officials have reportedly been very impressed with the numbers this storyline between Liv and Dominik has generated over the past few weeks. In terms of metrics, it's the biggest storyline on Monday Night Raw at the moment, and it's an angle that's going to be featured heavily in WWE leading up to SummerSlam 2024 this August, which is apparently right around when Rhea Ripley will be returning from her injury, likely a short while before SummerSlam. And like we mentioned, there's a possibility that Dominik and Rhea could be secretly working together and stringing Liv Morgan along, but that obviously won't be revealed until Rhea returns, which again is months in the future, so for right now, expect things in the Judgment Day to get extremely hectic as Dominik and Liv begin their romantic relationship, and Dominik is eventually convinced to ditch the faction altogether. So, by the looks of it guys, things are only going to be heating up between Liv Morgan and Dominik Mysterio in the coming days and weeks over on Monday Night Raw, and the relationship between Rhea Ripley and Dominik will be coming to an end, with Rhea essentially going to be breaking up with Dominik Mysterio through social media once things become official between Dom and Liv, which could really be any week now. Now we have some truly breaking news to share with you guys regarding Shane McMahon, and for anyone who believed Shane could be returning to WWE in the near future, a company now run by his brother-in-law Triple H. That's reportedly the furthest thing from the case, and Shane McMahon is apparently in talks with AEW All Elite Wrestling. a news story that has not surprisingly sent shockwaves through the entire wrestling industry today. It was recently reported that Shane McMahon has been in talks with a bunch of current AEW wrestlers about possibly appearing in All Elite Wrestling, and according to one of our insider sources, it goes way beyond Shane McMahon simply making a one-off appearance in AEW, and here were some truly shocking details provided regarding what Shane McMahon could be planning with Tony Khan and AEW. Quote, "So, the big story coming out today was regarding co-host Conrad Thompson of the Grilling JR podcast, revealing that he had received a text from a friend suggesting that Shane McMahon has been in talks with a bunch of AEW talent about potentially joining the company, and obviously this story is getting a lot of traction right now because of how crazy it sounds, but from what we've heard, it's not crazy at all, and very much true. Now you might be asking, why on earth would Shane McMahon join or work with AEW over returning to WWE, especially now that Vince McMahon isn't in the picture anymore? Well, what we've heard is that while Shane and Hunter have worked out a lot of the issues they've had with each other, Shane McMahon apparently has no interest in working with Triple H behind the scenes in WWE because they don't see eye to eye on a lot of things. You know, just the way the company's run in a lot of ways under Hunter's regime. And honestly, Shane McMahon is reportedly open to shaking things up in the business and working with Tony Khan and All Elite Wrestling, and we've heard rumblings that Tony Khan is 100% on board with the idea of Shane joining the company, which is no surprise as it would draw massive attention and buzz for the company, which is always a positive thing business-wise. You know, the real shocking thing here is that we've heard rumors that Tony Khan is currently in talks with Shane McMahon about joining the company, and that the plan would be to have Shane come over and announce that he's bought out AEW, even though, of course, this would not be for real and would be just for storyline purposes. Sort of like how Shane O'Mac bought out WCW back in the day, even though that was just for the Invasion storyline, and it was actually Vince McMahon and WWE who bought out World Championship Wrestling. Tony Khan reportedly feels having Shane McMahon come over to the company and storyline buy All Elite Wrestling from him, and thus become the on-screen owner of AEW, would draw massive ratings and bring a huge new surge of attention to the company, and that it would be worth every penny that they'd need to give Shane McMahon to agree to do this storyline, which we've heard Shane is open to if the money's right, which is apparently being worked on now behind the scenes. I mean, that storyline would have massive potential to say the least, and right now it truly does look more than possible that Shane's going to be joining AEW very soon, and announcing on television that he's the new owner of the company, which again would just be for storyline purposes. Let us know your thoughts on the possibility of Shane McMahon soon joining AEW and becoming the on-screen new owner of the company, and do you guys feel this would be the kind of storyline that would truly put All Elite Wrestling on the map and a legitimate rival for WWE? Well guys, that's it for today's major wrestling news. Make sure you leave a like and comment, and also make sure you subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on so you'll never miss out on an episode. Finally, if you haven't already, give us a follow on Twitter at TSE Wrestling, and we will see you guys in the next video.